Brock Purdy to beat Tom Brady. Before we delve into that game, here's a little Kyle Shanahan from yesterday on Brock Purdy's extensive college playing experience.
No, I just think when you're a four-year starter in a pretty big conference, you've just been in some pressure, and you've done it a lot. You had to come in there as a freshman when, you're this youngest on the team, and to be able to do that 4 years in a row, you can tell when guys have done that. They've just been under center a bunch. They understand just how to play the game. They've been in it a lot, and they've been in a lot of situations. Now he's got to see there's a huge difference in the league and stuff like that, but you can talk about a lot of things, but you can tell he's been in it, and I think that's how he knows how to play fast.
Man, wouldn't it be something if this guy becomes the next generation's Tom Brady, in that he's the lowly drafted player who develops into a starter and is pretty damn good and gets it done and enters the fray under similar circumstances a year earlier than Brady did. But again, Brady versus Purdy. Purdy's first career start, because he didn't start last week because the injury happened in the first quarter. What's your confidence level in Purdy as he walks out there onto the field, sees Tom Brady running out of the tunnel with his let's effing go, and he's back in his home area, even though it's a long drive to San Mateo from Santa Clara, especially in traffic. But what's your confidence that Purdy can get it done against a team like the Bucs?
I'm pretty confident from what I saw last week. Now, again, if it gets to the point where, wait, they're down by 14 and he's got to drop back and throw the ball 45 times and win the game, no, I don't feel good about that. That's not what he's made to do, at least not yet. But with the way and the confines of how we see 49er football play on a weekly basis, I think he works. He'll make it work. You see his experience. You do. He does a lot of the little nuances that a quarterback needs to do. And last week, man, he made some really high-level plays. He actually missed some of the easier plays where you went, wait, that was an easy one. How'd you miss that one? But wait, you're going to make this one with a guy in your face on a 3rd and 10 and then throw a seed down the middle to Kittle? I mean, he had a few sidearm throws where he had to throw it around pressure. And again, standing here in the pocket, reading it. I just think with reps and then Shanahan not putting too much on his plate, and as we always talk about, the team rallies around these situations, right? The defense is going, we got to play better. We don't got Jimmy G. We're going to have to help this guy. Come on. Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are saying that. It's one of those where a little bit like we saw with Dak Prescott, it's going to bring the team together a little bit. And I don't expect him to be some glaring weakness. Let's just say that. I think he's going to be plenty good. I'm not so sure he's a better athlete than Jimmy G. His arm, to me, he was physically better than I thought he would be. His arm looked every bit as strong as Jimmy G. So now it's just taking care of the football, and when Shanahan delivers a play, you got to make it. And I think this kid's capable of that, Mike.
Listen to this quote from Trent Williams, long-term grizzled veteran left tackle on Brock Purdy. You would think he's been in the league 15 years. If you're talking, he'll say, shut your ass up. He ain't no timid rookie feeling his way around. He'll get on your ass. You would think he's like Peyton Manning or something. Wide receivers not running, you'll hear him cussing a wide receiver out. Man, sounds a lot like Tom Brady.
Yeah, that does.
Sounds a lot like what you need to come in and get it done.
Right.
How in the hell did this guy last until the final pick in the draft then, Chris? 4-year starter, all the experience, great personality, leadership traits. What the hell? What are the other 31 teams thinking? Aren't they all looking for a franchise quarterback whenever, wherever, and however they can find one? What's the issue? Why did he fall?
Well, it's not great physical talent. I don't think anybody saw huge potential. And then
another similarity to Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, and then he played it, and here's another similarity. Played in an offense that wasn't necessarily quarterback-centric, so there wasn't a ton of yards. Look at the yards, so I can justify drafting him 3 rounds earlier, right? They played in the pro-style type of offense. They were the only team in the Big 12 that actually had a fullback and ran an ISO play every now and then or stuff like that. So I think that's probably why. And then wins and losses weren't always easy there. They were pretty good while he was there, but they weren't a national powerhouse. But this is, again, as we've discussed many times, this is not a quarterback-centric team. This is not. And in a lot of ways, this is a crazy statement I'm about to say. I'm more worried about Tom Brady than I am Brock Purdy in this game. I am. I mean, Brady's had moments of looking like absolute shit this year, and now he's got. Sorry. We saw it last week. You can say what you want. I'm sick of fluffing around this subject, but we saw, and now he's got the 49ers pass rush and this defense. That's where it's going to be interesting to watch. You're watching a guy that's kind of on his last leg and gets jumpy in the pocket and misses a lot of throws and opportunities. He's gone. Throw it out there. There's a number of plays, and at least he threw it down the field in this game, which was good to see. But yeah, I'm just as intrigued by how Brady looks with these guys swarming around him as I am with Brock Purdy and just how he, responds to being his first start ever.
Yeah. Think about this. The Bucs had that hard-fought game played, on Monday night.
Yeah.
They got to travel across the country, and they're playing a 49ers team that was at home last week. At home the week before that. Those little factors make a difference. That's a weird quirk in the scheduling that puts the Bucs in a spot where they got to fly to San Francisco is just part of all this, recovering from that game. And as I've said multiple times, and I was looking for a good gif of Jeff Van Gundy on Alonzo Mourning's leg. That's going to be Donovan Smith on Nick Bosa on Sunday. It's going to be potentially a long day for Tom Brady. He's going to have to get the ball out faster than he ever has. So I got a lot of faith in Brock Purdy. I got a lot of faith in the 49ers, and I think they'll be perfectly fine without Jimmy Garoppolo. All due respect, Jimmy Garoppolo. People are mad at me for saying that. It's like, folks, haven't we seen this movie? Don't we know that this 49ers team isn't successful because of Garoppolo? They quote the stats of
they always go, when
the record of the team.
Yeah, when they win.
When he doesn't play.
Right.
But you know what? You know what, though? How many of those games did Nick Bosa not play, too?
Yeah.
I think that's more important to look at. I'd like to see the stats, and I should put them together on their record without Nick Bosa.
They've had some of that. The year he hurt his ankle, right, in New York or the Jets, Bosa hurt, out for the year. There's been some of that. And then, I could argue, too, that some of the backups they had were just not good enough to get it done in any, in any way. And I also think, too, with some of the backups, I put a little blame on Shanahan because I feel like he just was like, wait, you're a backup. I'm going to run the same offense as Jimmy Garoppolo. Here we go. And it's like they weren't ready for it. So I think Shanahan has learned from those experiences and will manage Purdy better than he did a Nick Mullins or a C.J. Beathard maybe when they had to take over the job.
And you've got Christian McCaffrey. You've got Deebo Samuel. You've got guys who can move the ball. You just slip into 2019 postseason mode where you just run it, you play great defense, you win football games. And again, you said it, Brock Purdy made some great throws.
He did.
This is an opportunity. With all the crap that the 49ers have been dealing with, freaking themselves out over quarterback position, the trade up for Trey Lance, all this stuff. Now Shanahan's got a guy who's like this lump of clay that shows a ton of potential, and he just molds him the right way. It could be a lot of fun for Kyle down the stretch, and they, I think, will still make the playoffs, and I still think they will be very dangerous. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.